A What's up, brother? And the music is low. Give me a second here. There we go. Better. Barrett, what's up, brother? Thank you for the sub. Appreciate you, as always. Mike Crypto. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. I've got a little bit of a different setup here. I'm rearranging my office, so a little off. But good to be back. You know, I haven't streamed in a couple weeks. Said I wouldn't be. 4th of July, vacation, my birthday. Green, what's going on, brother? Sounds good. All right, good. Yeah, you never really know, man, when you switch this stuff up. But I turned gain on my mic all the way down. My mic's also coming up now instead of down, so it's a different look. So any feedback on sound or my voice would be greatly appreciated as we figure out the new setup here. As we talked about last time we did this, which was a little while ago, we knew that it was going to be a slow summer, and you're seeing that over and over again. Shady, you sound as angelic as always. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Shady and Scoob putting on a little scalping class in the Discord over the past few weeks. I've been watching. It's been interesting to see. I mean, those guys are making really, really nice trades and posting them, talking about them in the Discord. It's been pretty cool to watch. It's just not my bag. Like, I just am not, like I used to do that. It's a grind. Not something that I particularly enjoy. So I don't do it. And it's getting easier. I will say that it's getting easier. I took a little scalp through the weekend, nothing crazy. A little short scalp out actually, and just closed it. And you know, there's plenty of opportunities there because the range is just so unbelievably clear, right? You get these breakdowns, and obviously I'm looking at the yes, but like it's pretty clear where things are moving. We're just kind of bouncing up and down. So you can take as much or as little as you like and participate as much or as little as you like. And, you know, for me, I'm more of a high time frame swing trader, and that's what I'm best at. And so, like I said this morning where I posted like my update in the Discord, yeah, things look better, but like it still looks like shit. It still looks like shit. Like I posted this in the Discord today. Yeah, you're here, you know? Also, I probably can take Dale off. Dale's not here. There we go. You know, we got this little breakdown, move sideways, let the 50-day catch back up. And then, you know, try a breakout, see if there's any strength. Broke down. You got to give it time for the 50 to catch up. And that's where we are right now, right? Like, we're just kind of banding in and around it. Same thing that happened here. You check on the 8 hour, it's pretty similar. You know, this is not uncommon. I mean, literally since, God, look how far you can go back and just play this. Okay. I'll circle it for you guys. Broke down, test. Broke down, test. Test. Little bit of a rally. Broke down, a little bit of a rally. Here we go. Tried to flip to support, couldn't. Test. Test. I mean, it's happening repeatedly where you can just look at the 50 segment moving average on any decently high time frame, and it's pretty clear what a trend looks like. You know, when people are like, oh, I don't really understand trends. Like, I get that you have to like have traded through them to understand what to look for, but the reason why I use the 50 segment moving average is because it's pretty darn clear. You know? Since November, it's been get out the hammer, or where is it? Right here. Just crunk. Here, so I do think that there are some decent buying opportunities here, and that's where like the scalping's involved. Like somebody said the other day, like look at Adam. Adam's like the only all that like put in a higher high and a higher low and just like looks relatively clean. That's kind of nice to see. And so there's plenty of these out here where you can trade and do fairly well. Whether it be scalping or otherwise. Yeah, are we? Sure. And so those things are there, but I feel like I sound like a broken record, which is why I haven't been streaming as much. Like, I am more of the kind of trader where you wait for the conditions to be easy, okay? You could accuse me of being lazy. Sure. I would rather trade when conditions are easier. That's me, personally. I would rather trade when conditions are easier. Why would I try to beat my head up against the wall and over trade or try to trade more when it's really, really hard? And again, like Shady and Scoob and RK and a few others in the Discord are posting trades and doing very, very well. If you're into that active trading mindset, that's just not me. It's just not me, because when you can wait for the fat pitch, you can have tremendous wins of crazy multiples without using leverage. And that's what I would rather do. I would rather wait for the fat pitch, right? Like if you're a baseball fan, you don't really want to be setting dead red down 0-2 an account being like, all right, now's my time to get a hit, right? Like the pitcher could throw it at the mascot, throw it into the dugout, throw it a 57-foot curveball, and if you have your mindset on swinging, you're probably going to strike out. But if it's a 3-0 count and the bases are loaded and there's no outs, you got a pretty good idea, a pretty good chance that that next pitch is going to be right down the fucking middle. So why not just wait for the pitch right down the middle? And that's my mindset personally. I don't know if this is making sense to you guys, but it can be done. Like you can dig in and you can see there's nice divergences here and there, but even this makes me, like, just pulling this up, this makes me nervous. You go, well, Jared, look at your MACD. Like, look how much it recovered off that dump on the 8 hour. Yeah, that's true, but we're still negative. We haven't even gotten into positive yet. That actually makes me more nervous that the next leg down is coming. Let me add in the RSI. I think I have it on here. Is it on here anywhere? Oh, fuck you. All right, I'll just go add it in the standard one. Hold on. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see that. But a lot of times you hear about people using the RSI and they go, the 70 is overbought and the 30 is oversold. And that's 100% true, okay? That's 100% true. This is my alpha for you low time frame scalpers today, if this is what you're into. A lot of times in a trend, and I've said this before, or I've talked about this before, it's actually the midline retest is the trend. Okay. So you can see here, breakdown, midline, reject, midline. We're right here again, trying to reject. Here it is. I mean, you can go all the way back. God, how far do you want to go? Like pretty often when you get to that midline in the RSI, just rejects and goes lower. And so here we are right now, just kind of sitting under the 0 line on the MACD and trying to battle here on the RSI. Again, this is a scalper's, a scalper's tool, and you're just not seeing it even get anywhere close to recovery. Look at it on the daily. Look at this shit. The one time that we got a really, really nice run actually to the high side of the RSI is when I sat here with every single one of you and said, I don't know, guys, I would probably sell this shit. This is a retest from the bottom on the 200 day. Go look at the fucking stream. Nah, I know you guys are really interested right now, but I'm hedging. We just lose my camera. Sweet. See if I can live. There we go. What a great picture to have it freeze on too. Give me a second. And we're back. So the one time we actually got the rip to the high side on RSI, yeah, it's pretty great, is when we hit the 200 day and rejected. That's right here. Okay. Are you guys following what I'm saying right now? So here is the one time we broke through, and that was the rip from 38 to 40. It was $10,000 rip. But look how often it doesn't even get there. And you're kind of seeing like if you were to, if I'm going to make this larger. Look at this, like if you were doing it from a fractal perspective on where we are right now. Okay, we're trying to like make this leg up. That's the exact same thing that happened here. Where you actually saw RSI start to just move to the midline, to the 50, okay? And this is another one of like my scripts. I mean, it's easy. I just put a 50 dotted line in there. But you can use this for trends. And it works on all time frames, okay? This is not like just unique to daily. See if I can make this smaller. Go to like a 15-minute chart. Hopefully this works. Never really good when you do this shit on the fly. Yeah, there you go. So like you can see it here. That little rip we had yesterday. You got this breakout from the lows, rips through, and then you got a little bit of trend. Then it held the trend. Right? Held the trend and then broke down. So you can a lot of times use that as a late tool scalping entry if you want to. But, you know, not really my cup of tea. And I just don't need to. Okay. Again, I know that's kind of a dick thing to say. I just don't need to trade like that. And some people are really good at it, man. Some people are really good at it. But I like golfing too much in the summer and doing other things. So, again, here's where we are. And we're right here again. Like, this is very, very similar, right? Little plunge down, roll over. And every time this has happened, we just end up getting rejected. So if you're game planning for this week, we have a couple of things going on. One, you're going to get the FOMC minutes. Is that this week or is that next week? Let me see if I can take this off screen. Pull it in. It's tomorrow. Matt says, the way you talk about short-term trading is the way that old people talk about heart attacks or plumbing work. You know, I was just not going to do it. Look, I've done this for a long time, okay? I've been trading for a long time. And I used to play those games, dude. And this shit is just like the juice is not worth the squeeze for me. And again, it's not what I'm good at anyway. Like I'm probably average, but not what I'm good at. So obviously those, and I'm not good at it because like fucking ADD. I'll just be like, oh God, no, fuck it. I'll just close a position. Like, you know, you just talk yourself out of trades. It's really, really dumb. But the thing is, I am conditioned to look for long-term trades. That's just how I work. Just like, I mean, you can, but yeah, so Shady says it's tomorrow. So you get the minutes tomorrow, then CPI's not far behind it, and then you'll actually get the Fed meeting. So I think we're at this place where you're waiting for something to happen. MACD is still grossly under the zero line. RSI, I mean, it could go back to the midline. But the thing is, the midline, like, it can just kind of coast sideways and chop everybody up. And it will still get back to the midline. That's the thing that I think this is what I said earlier that made me like, oh, fuck. Like, look at this. All right, look, hey, we had this great run back to zero. No, we didn't. Like, it just moved sideways, and like just the moving averages caught up with each other. And you go, well, hey, look at this great run back to zero from negative 2,200. And then we got all the way to minus 117. Yeah. And the lows were fucking 17.5 to the high of like 22. It just kind of coasted there. It just kind of coasted there. So that's not a powerful move. There's nothing that I'm looking at in this chart that says like, oh, fuck yeah, game on. But we're nearing this point last year when things started to change. Like if we were just kind of hearkening back to last summer. Yeah, let's look at last summer. Looks really damn similar. Okay? Looks really similar. You get this little plunge down. Everything looks terrible. You know, you're reading horrific stories that you would never have thought you'd read about, like people harming themselves or committing crimes to try to get back ahead. Like crazy shit's going on right now. And look, let me show you July 4th last year. Right here. Okay? Right here. This is where it was. And you got this kind of like, but we're just tired. Until the third week of July. And then, whoop, that's when it started the next trend. So, do I think there's a catalyst right now that we will be able to just like all of a sudden have a huge run again? No, I don't. In fact, that's what we were talking about today in the Discord. What we were talking about today in the Discord was, it's not that like there isn't juice there per se, but like what's the positive narrative right now? Like what are bulls holding on to be like, yes, this is it, man. We're going to do it. The merge, even that, man, to be honest with you, like, all right. So let me give you my opinion on the merge real quick, because I do think it's a big deal. It's a big deal. I think it's a big deal for Ethereum. I think it's a big deal for, I think it's a big deal for Ethereum. I think it's a big deal for like retail having something to be excited about, because they've just been like following us for a couple years. Yeah, exactly. Scoop says the merge bullish catalyst narrative started $2,000 ago. Went well, didn't it? Right, it didn't. And the thing is, like, it's not like under even neutral circumstances. If we were just in like a regular range, or we had been ranging high and we're just moving sideways, the merge catalyst would probably be enough for us to have like a crazy run to range highs. And those are the sorts of things that market makers like to manipulate. They'll just take a little bit of news and say, yeah, you know what? Let's make it seem like this is the next best thing since sliced bread, and let's rip it to range highs, get everybody leaning one way. They start using leverage, and we'll just crush them, right? Just crush them. That's what would happen if we were in a neutral market. We are not in a neutral market. We're in a horseshit market. So yeah, personally, I don't think that that it's enough. I don't think it's enough to actually do something. But let me give you the counter argument to that. And this is, again, going back to our conversation this morning in the Discord. We need some foot off the gas on the trip to hell news. Here's what I mean. We need CPI numbers to be better than expected, meaning the inflation actually went down month over month. That would be a good start. We would need the sort of economic indicators that Powell always talks about. Open positions per worker seeking employment, and obviously core inflation, those sort of things, to actually come back to earth a little bit. And if you get those numbers moving that way, you can start to envision a narrative or a move where it's okay, numbers were a little bit better than we thought. And then Jerry P comes out and is like, let's fucking go. It's working. This reaffirms our stance that we're using, like, let me give you his exact way he'll say it, okay? I gotta try to get in my Jerome Powell voice. Well, you know, like I said, we're going to take a look at every tool that we have in the toolbox and deploy them as we see fit. We're going to do whatever we can to carry out our mandate. Right now, our mandate is to keep inflation at 2% and have unemployment at an acceptable level. And right now, we're using the tools that we found necessary, and we feel good about the steps we put in place to curtail inflation. So we will continue on a month-by-month basis, take a look, and we're not taking anything off the table, but right now it appears that what we thought would happen is happening, and we'll continue doing what we can to the best of our ability. Okay? And, like, that's what he's going to fucking say. He's going to say it if we get any good news. And that, what I just said, even though it sounded like monotone horseshit, because it was, would be enough for the markets to go ham for, like, a couple months. It would. Like, the hand of God. Him being like, yo, the tools that we put in place are working, and it looks like inflation's decreasing and unemployment and available jobs or whatever are seeking the appropriate levels. Whatever, that's enough for us to get a squeeze, and I'll tell you where that squeeze would lead to here in a second on the chart. But then that all comes together. Remember, guys, like, it is July 5th. It's July 5th. Midterms are 3 months away. 4 months away. But, like, the season's going to pick up here in a minute. Like, we're probably, God, has anybody seen actual campaign ads in, like, their neck of the wood yet? I have not. I think I've seen, like, a couple on cable news, but you're going to start seeing midterm campaign ads, and it's going to be all of October into the first week of November is going to be crazy. So if you think about, like, maybe CPI just drifts back a little bit, and then you see midterms, and like, the bullish catalyst, quite frankly, could be as much as the Republicans took back the House and the Senate. Okay, so CPI is working. Republicans took back the House and the Senate. Obviously, that's better for business, which is what people care about. Yeah, no. Matt says no campaigns yet. Right, not yet, but they're coming. If you live anywhere near a battleground state, you're about to get inundated with ads. You will. So, can we just, like, look for a little bit of a pump in the range, get us to range high, maybe get some positive CPI numbers, maybe have Powell start taking a victory lap or his version of a victory lap, and that's enough to push us, in my opinion, back towards 28,000. So this area right here, okay? Why can't you guys see there we go. See my mouse right here. So, like, this area is what I'm looking for. Like, quite frankly, if I see a powerful move anytime soon, where this is broken, or really, just quite frankly, like a move over 22,000 with power, okay? A moving over 22,000 with power, it would be like the easiest thing for you all to, like, follow along with me on, okay? If you see this break, that's your ABC long entry. It's a reversal entry on the daily time frame. Okay, for those of you at home who don't know what I'm talking about, it would be a break of 21.8 with power, put a stop under 18.6. And you go, well, Jared, that's a $3,000 stop. Yeah, it is. It is. But it's the ABC entry here, and then you look for the top side, and that could be this area here. Like, this 28 to 29 area would be the target. So would you take 21.8 to 29 on a 3,000 risk? It's a 3-to-1 R. It's not tremendous, no. But that's the sort of thing that you could see playing out over the following weeks. I'd say months, but I don't think that would even do it. Like, I think this would probably happen at the end of the year, right? So you get a long of 22 and then a stop under the recent lows. If you really wanted to be wild about it, you do a stops down in the 17s, but I don't think that's a good idea. And then, quite frankly, guys, like if you use these streams to kind of give yourself a basis for what comes next and how to handle things, I think this is pretty thin here. Like this area is pretty thin. And the reason why, let me go back, is this. Okay. This shit works both ways. It works both ways. We loved it on the way up. Okay. We loved it on the way up. When we got the Elon candle and the breakout and things just went fucking nuts. We went from $20,000 to $40,000 in like a fortnight. It was crazy. And we just ripped through this area. But no one's talking about this right now, man. Like we got down to the last area where there was like actual support, and that's 20,000. And this area in the middle is just sitting here again, ripe for a squeeze. So I said that I thought this was possible in the Discord today, and Scoob disagreed with me. He said he didn't think the power was there. I don't think he's necessarily wrong based on technicals. What I'm saying is there's no one home. There's no one home. You know how easy it was? I mean, look, I know some of you were in either the Discord or in Telegram. By the way, I'm pointing behind me because my monitors are here now, so I have to look back. They're here and there. Some of you were saying, like, Jared was saying if we got that breakdown from 28, it was going to go pretty quickly to 20, and son of a bitch, there it was. It happened. Yeah, it did. Because there was no one home. There was no one home. So this was a hot knife through butter breakdown. Wham, just straight through it, guys. And it's still there. Like, it's not like we spent a shitload of time trading in this range as we broke down. Like, look at this. Look at this. You mean, like, simple solutions often present themselves, right? Look at the VPVR. And look at price action. We got the 200-day retest from the bottom side. We kind of move slowly through this chop. And then when you had huge inefficiencies in the market, which was the breakdown from 37 down to 28, and then the breakdown from 28 down to 2018, 19, where there was no one home, look at these candles. Very clear. Very clear. There was no support. No one even trying to defend that level. Like, easy as you like, folks. And so, do I think we got some powerful fucking move coming where it's like, woo, to 28 and we just rip through again? No. But what I'm saying to you is everyone is bearish. Everyone thinks it sucks out here. And you're right. It does suck out here. Okay. Like, call a spade a spade. Like, it sucks pretty bad. But all it would take for us to retest 28 from the bottom side is like a slight improvement in CPI. And Jerry P being like, maybe we can curtail raising rates sometime in the near future. Like, that's it. And that would be enough. And that would get you the rip up to 28. Probably get some bullshit, go back down to 20. And just range. So it's a good question. I'll get there in a second. So, and then the other thing is, so if you get a little bit of a range and a rip back and forth, then you get into midterms, and then you can see something crazy happen. Then you would actually see a more powerful move into those areas, right? So Matt said, is this a self-fulfilling prophecy? No, it's not. It's not. And the reason why it's not is because all TA is, Matt, is emotions displayed on a chart. They're emotions displayed on a chart. Okay? That's what TA is. Meaning that, like, oh, there was a reversal bar up here and support was down here and whatever. And the thing is, like, these areas have greater meaning where there are participants in the market. The strength of the breakout from 20K up to 40 was so violent because it had been talked about and prophesized for so long that it just ripped straight through. And people were so eager to buy these dips that they did when they got there at 28. So it went from 40 down to 28, back up, and it was defended. If you have no participants in the market, there's no emotion in the market. There's no one sitting there saying, I'm going to defend my position at these levels because no one took a position at those levels, right? Like, it's not like, oh, well, I really think 26666 is a great spot. Like, why? No one was trading there. There's no market maker out there who's like, son of a bitch, guys, this is where we need to really step in and hold the line, because, like, no, they didn't. And so there's significant areas from the past, right? I mean, look, it's simple as this. 20K was like the emotional or the psychological level of the breakout. I think we'd all agree with that. When that happened in December of 20 and we got that straight rip, it was because it was the previous high from the previous cycle and you got that crazy breakout, right? Great. Well, then where does 28 come from? After we went from 20 to 40, came back down, and that's where the defense was put in. It was put in at 28 here. It was put in at 28 1, 2, 3 times here. Okay. So you literally had 28 become the area where people had made money here, took profits there, did it again here. Okay. So they had 2 different runs at it. Now 28 has that history of people who took positions at 28. And so there was a reasonable expectation that when we got there again, it would be defended again. And sure enough, it was. It was. Look at 28. It was defended again. And then it broke down. Okay. So it's all about, like, TA is literally just emotions on a chart. It's people saying, yes, I feel like there's good value here. No, I don't. Yes, I feel like this is worth the risk, or no, I don't. If no one was trading, none of that stuff holds true. So what I always say is I want to see that stuff filled in. I would love to see range in here and just kind of bang around and rinse people both ways, because it would fill out that inefficiency on the chart. So whether or not you feel I answered your question, like, I guess everything that I base everything off is that I do is based on the psychology of macro, and then traders being micro. And if no one trades, then there's nothing to base that off of. And so you go, like, get this breakdown, and the people who were defending 28 were like, fuck, I'm out. And there's no one left to pick up the bag till 20, because that was the last real level. And then there you go. Look at Ethereum doing its best. Doing its best to hold the range low. The interesting part is, as we always say, whenever you establish a range high, if you get a deviation and a breakdown back into that level, which is what happened there, there's pretty good odds you're going to test the other side, right? That's what happened there. Looks like the same PA as May. On which one, Kali? By the way, I think you guys are slightly longer behind me today because I have my VPN on. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is. Like, that's 100%. Yeah. You talking about this current rip up right now? Like the intraday one, Scoop? Yeah. I don't see a reason for it to, but the thing is, every weekend move gets faded, right? It has for like a month. I saw Don and Cred and maybe somebody else talking about it earlier today when they were like, this is what happens. You know, you get a move on the weekend, it retraces. Well, it retraced and then trying to go back and do it again. When did the weekend start? Yeah, 30th into the 1st. There you go. I mean, we are at that level. It's probably a minus EV play to the long up here, but if you get the breakout, then you get the breakout. It's not bad. We're gonna look at the daily on ES. Yeah, the weekend moves are bullshit. It's the easiest thing to trade because you know it's going to be bullshit. Obviously, until it isn't. Oh, very good Confucius shit there. But you know, it's in a weak market. In a weak market, the weekend moves are garbage, and they're to be faded. In a strong market, sure. Yes, I agree. Scoop's got it right. The weekend moves are always bullshit. That was pretty obvious it was going to retrace, but this was during the New York session, so it's more believable. I agree. One of the guys that I trust, I consider him my trading mentor, is long right now in the standard market. So do with that what you will. This is kind of what I've been watching on the S&P 500. This is a 3-day chart. You got this falling wedge into support. Which way does it resolve? It's a 3-day falling wedge on the ES. Much more sloppy on the NQ, but NQ had some relative strength today. Look at that, 1.5% versus holding steady. That's decent. It's decent. Show me a resolution one way or the other. I mean, you haven't gotten a close outside of that falling wedge. Here, it's a little more linear, that like 13,000 level. Pretty obvious. Delete that. Delete that. And delete that. Yeah. This is the worst chart there is. We kept saying like this shit's got to retrace, right? Apparently no, it does not. I mean, this fucking chart. I saw Ralph Paul say nothing in the way till 120. I disagree with that, but I mean, you're long at the moment. Long 19.9. I figured I stopped at my short at 19.750. Yeah, all right. Well, flipped your bias pretty well. There is this little consolidation area on DXY, but I think for the most part he's right. Like you could see DXY 118, 120, which is fucking crazy. I guess the case for things are not the same is look at where DXY was last year when we had that rip. This is where it was. We were at 92 last year. We're at 106 this year. That's a not insignificant move, guys. That is a not insignificant move. But, you know, look, Solana holding exactly where you'd think it would. Hey, man. You get good miles on round trips. Solana holding where it should. AVAX looks like it's got lower. Atom, absolutely to the woodshed. Matic is who we thought they are who we thought they were. Yeah. The hell? I mean, I guess it took an ass beating then. You're up 14% today. Good for you. So it looks like 22 to you. Is that what you said? Yeah, but you know, like, so, I mean, if Kyle, you've been watching me for a while. I always think that these pockets are pretty good areas where you see like the turn come around, and it did exactly what I usually talk about it doing right here. When you get the pocket from before, like we haven't closed below that yet. Right. I don't see 22, to be honest with you. I see 20, 19. Like these wicks down here. No, I don't see 22. I guess if you go to a lower time frame. Yeah, no. It's not 22. But you could probably make a case for that like 17 to 20 area. Gold getting crushed. Neat. Apple, Target. Yeah, I mean, it's really boring right here, guys. Like, pretty boring. To Scoop's point, everything made some nice higher lows on the daily. Atom was the only one to make a higher high. Like, these are some good things that we're seeing, but whenever I look at high time frames, I just go, nah, man, go play more golf. Because I just don't see it yet. Like, this is a 3-day chart. I don't know why that's in there. It's a 3-day chart. It looks like shit. MACD's way over. We're just trying to close positive now. No. Nah, look at the weekly, dude. The weekly momentum is still negative. And it's trying to turn over. I mean, fucking woof. Look at this. Look how bad this is. I will say that you can bet your ass. Yeah, Scoob. Well, I appreciate you, man. Like, if I had a hobby, a life, and wasn't addicted to these shitcoins, I'd do the exact same thing. This market's so bullshit. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it's just like, you know, I turned 37 over the weekend, so, you know, I'm a little older. Just not feeling it. Just not feeling it. Wait till it becomes easy, man. Work smarter, not harder. It's like the mantra for my life. You can bet pretty well that if the monthly actually gets back to the 0 line on MACD, that would be your bottom. I would bet not an insignificant amount of money that we don't go negative on the monthly for MACD. So that would be a high time frame indicator I'd take a look at. Yeah. It just sucks, man. It sucks balls. Like, there's no other way to put it. I mean, Ethereum, I appreciate that it's trying, but again, like, I want to see this breakout. Ethereum tried to lead this weekend, did it not? Like, it actually had a little bit of a rip when Bitcoin was kind of fucking around. So that same idea of what I told you on the long would be for Bitcoin, it's actually slightly more palatable for Ethereum because the wick down wasn't so bad. So it'd be like long a breakout of 1300 or 1280 and then put a stop at $1,000. Like, that's fairly similar, and you're looking at $800, $600 upside. So 2, 6, yeah, it's still 3 to 1 R if you want to play it. But again, I see it as well, if we get that breakout of the highs, there's no one home here, man. There's no one home. We'll go through it just as quickly as we did. But again, there's no fucking narrative. There's no narrative right now to even want to play that. I just don't see it. So we need not just a breakout, but what's the narrative? And if you see the narrative, please come let me know. Because I'll trade it with you if we think it's good enough. We'll talk about it, or whatever it may be. Because even if we get that breakout of 1280 or whatever it was, I'd find myself sitting there being like, but really, you know, like, are we sure? Because it's very possible you could see a crazy wick over like a day where everybody's going crazy. Like, just think about it. Let's imagine that CPI comes out and they're like, oh my God, it's better. And you see some crazy wick to like 1400 in a day. So like a breakthrough 1280 to 1400. Everyone's like, yes. I could definitely see that retracing like overnight. And it was just some gigantic wick. So every time, and Scoob talked about this morning in the Discord, like every time there's a move, like they don't even put up even a little bit of a fight to try to hold it. It just evaporates. It just evaporates. So, you know why? Why care? Why even do it? Anyway. As Shady pointed out earlier, oil was getting its ass kicked. I haven't pulled it up in a while. I guess I could. WTI. Yeah, phenomenal. Down 10% in a day. Let's go. That's great. We need oil to get smacked. So that's good. Maybe we fish our wish and get a decent end of the summer. But right now, guys, it's about doing your research. It's about spending some time looking at shit. The thing is, like, And by the way, there's been some good stuff posted in the research teams on a few new innovations coming out in different chains, which I appreciate. But I said the same thing to a taxi the other day when, you know, he's working on some stuff, which I think is pretty cool. And I find myself saying, is it really worth releasing right now? Because it's just going to get kicked in the nuts. Unless you really, like, if you have something really, really good, like so good, people are like, oh my God, I don't care that Bitcoin's down 70%. And then have to be really good. Yeah, Scoops, it's exactly. The shorts get squeezed. And when it's squeezed, the shorts, when they get shorts, the bids just instantly disappears after holding it up for a few. It's like, yeah, 100%. Hopefully this time is different, dude. We'll keep saying hopefully this time is different until it is, right? My thoughts. We shall see. I know I'm kind of just like mopey. I'm almost wearing a t-shirt. You guys usually don't see me wearing like t-shirts and shit. I try to be slightly more professional than that, but that's how I feel right now. Decent move. Kudos to Scoob for actually flipping his bias when his short didn't work. Good for him. Round trip to profits. Flip back through. What's your target right now, Scoob? Range high? 22? That's way too long for you. While Scoob talks or doesn't talk, I don't know, he might have left. I'm happy to get into more educational content. I'm happy to take more time and do some other things. Like I have a whole list of things you guys requested in the Discord, which is cool. I'll get to that. What is the most impactful thing that we could do now and talk about to kind of help you get through this? Like there was a lot of licking our wounds. There's Bap coming in. He dropped his I'm done with this bullshit other than Bitcoin message, which was neat today. But like, what is the thing that you would like to hear more of? I'm happy to do it. Yeah, so really his target was where I thought it would be. 21.7 BTC, 1280 ETH, 42.8 Solana. But as you said, most definitely was before that. I hate holding it for too long. Yeah, I mean, Scooby, you are the quintessential, like, shit's moving against me. Nah, I don't know. I see the tide turning and you get out. That's fine. Like, your process obviously works for you or else you wouldn't be doing this. But yeah, I think those are pretty reasonable levels. Yep. Yeah, it's why it sucks, man. It sucks because everything is just completely just following the S&P. It's really boring. The only thing I would say, and again, I think Shady pointed it out, and I was talking about the Discord. Today was the first day in a while that the NASDAQ outperformed. And for those of you who are newer at this, NASDAQ typically high beta moves. So the stuff that moves easier when the markets are better, it's higher risk. Okay, it's a risk on asset. That's what people mean when you say something like that. Like it's something that you only trade if you think there's a risk on period coming because it's going to move well. If not, you buy fucking oil stocks. You buy Chevron or Exxon Mobil or whatever it is, and you don't fuck around with that stuff. So today is an interesting change. I'll talk about it more tomorrow in the Discord, but I assure you, when I look tonight at the stocks and the things that moved today, it's not going to be what's been holding up the market for the past couple of weeks. It's not going to be oil. It's not going to be gas. It's going to be tech tonight. Shady says, I think we get a rally here in the start of earnings seasons. Driven off anything specifically, Shady, or just like, you know, let's have a go? Salvia says, spot bag building, dollar cost average over time versus dollar cost over ladder prices. All right, interesting. Yeah, we can talk about that. I think when it comes down to spot building is like, you need to, and this is not me talking about it, we can do it more. So BAP says many miners had 10% moves today. That's a big move for Bitcoin miners who have been absolutely fucking decimated, down 90% or more. So for them to actually get a little bit of a bid, it's either just a game where they're fucking around, or you're starting to see some risk on back into the market. And again, it is about that time. It was mid-July last year. It's July 5th today. This is when this stuff typically happens. You get a little bit of a solid footing as these rich guys come off their vacations. And then start to bid again. I don't, like I said to Shady, what I asked Shady was, do you think if it's driven off anything? And it doesn't have to be. That's the thing. Like, as I was discussing earlier, there's this void here that can be just ripped either way. So it's not going to take much there. I don't really see the same corresponding area on the S&P. But as you can see, Bitcoin has sort of been outperforming the S&P lately, holding a more solid base. So it'll be interesting if you will actually see a breakout of Bitcoin versus the S&P 500. That would be impressive to me, because we've just been getting our ass kicked. I mean, straight up, look at this shit. Even on the rip to new highs, we were underperforming the S&P 500, and it's just been, you know, a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, just getting absolutely fucking destroyed every step of the way, just erasing this ratio. So we'll see if the risk on starts to come. You got to find your highest performers. For me, the highest performers are going to be Solana. They're going to be Atom. They're going to be Ethereum. Juno has just been doing what Juno does, hanging out and just following the correlation, man. Just following where it's supposed to go. If it's a shitty day, then Juno has a shitty day. If it's a good day, Juno has a great day. So you're going to continue to see that until there's some sort of catalyst for Juno. And I don't know when that would be. So conditions are right. People are bored enough, and we're getting towards the mid-end of summer where school starts to happen again. Like, my brother is a teacher, and like he goes back to school in like less than a month, which is fucked up. Like the start of August. And you're right. Yeah, let's look at some relative strength here. Like, what? That's a daily chart, folks. That is a daily chart. Atom BTC. Just pretty clearly, I mean, since the first week of June, it has been outperforming Bitcoin bigly. Yeah, it probably is because you sold. Thomas. Really outperforming Ethereum. And look at that shit. Pretty impressive. By the way, Bap, like, so he said, because I sold, bro, I couldn't have time to worse. Yeah, I think you and I talked that day. I'm pretty sure you and I talked on that day. And you were like, I'm out. All right, man, do you? But that's typically how it happens. Like, when you finally feel like, you know, the gentle caress of desperation enter your mind, that's probably the bottom. The gentle caress of desperation. Sold yesterday at 8. Yikes. Still. Yeah. It's looking pretty good. What's Solith doing? That got fucking his ass beat. Oh, give me the good one, man. There we go. Yeah, hasn't been bad. That's actually a divergence. That divergence has been pain. And it's up. Money to be made. Money to be made. 64% move since the divergence activated of Solana versus Ethereum, if you're into that sort of thing. So maybe that bid is coming back into the market. You know, in my brain, I was like, Ethereum's been outperforming, but when you look at it, it actually hasn't been. Ethereum's been outperforming a little bit, but everything else has been outperforming Ethereum. So, go guess on that, or go figure that one out. All right, lads. Just want to do a little check-in. I'm gonna try to stream again this week. Hopefully, we have more to talk about. But keep an eye on the Discord. Keep an eye on Telegram. We will start talking about some other projects here recently. I think the Wenrug guys are doing some pretty cool shit. I want to be part of owning the casino. Taxi is doing cool things as always. He's making moves. BTC will be a thing. Fortunately or unfortunately, if you're unfortunately, if you're BAP who thinks it's all blasphemy when you do that. But yeah, guys, check the dollar, watch those levels. The ABC entry is over 22 for Ethereum. It's over 1280. I'm sorry, 22 for Bitcoin. It's over 1280 for Ethereum, and you just set your stops under low. It's the easiest swing trade you could possibly have because the upside's very clear. Like you can take that to $1,800 on Ethereum. And potentially 27, 28, 29,000 on that. Is that what it was? Wake Brown, pumping on DYDX and ICS News. All right, that works. That's good though. Look, every time Atom starts to fold more people into their universe, it's a great thing for them. It's a great thing. Should I go short now on BTC? If you want to, do you, man? It's all just a big dick tug right now. It's all just, whatever. You want to short? Here's the thing. You could throw a dart at a dartboard and say, if it hits an even number, I'm going to long, and if it hits an odd number, I'm going to short. And if you set decent stops, like you actually set and hold your stops based on whenever that happens, you're like, all right, what's the nearest point of resistance? What's the nearest point of return? You will be more positive than you'd win more than you'd think. Yeah, the thing about Atom Universe is if you first get drawn in, you're not likely to leave since it's actually so good. Its users are pretty loyal, I believe. Yeah, they are. Even through all the bullshit of the past, months, people that look into the Cosmos SDK and what they're trying to do, we're all like, yeah, this is fucking great. If you remember, long time ago, when I first started talking about it, Atom, it wasn't even that I was necessarily interested. Like, Highlander did a good job of giving me like the rundown on Juno and why it was good, and he called me and we talked about it. You guys all know that story. But it was when I started asking people that I trust about it, they were all like, yeah, great tech, really good stuff, it's a good experience. I'm like, do you own some? They're like, yeah, a little bit, just because I feel like I should, because it's really good. And I'm like, what? There wasn't a single person who was like, man, fuck Atom, except for Shady, who says it's cursed, which he's right. Traditionally, when Atom pumps, it is like the counter signal for the market, which means it tanks. So, back to Yo-Yo. Should I go short now on BTC? Well, Yo-Yo. Yeah, if you think that the Atom counter indicator is a real thing. All right, lads, I'm going to cut the music. And we'll do our outro here. Bonk. Get back in here. Which means we have a minute. Any last questions? Any last thoughts?
5 to the 4 to the 3, 2, 1.
Word. Who thinks Shady's gonna get his take profit? Shady, Scoop. Is he gonna get stopped out? Is he gonna hit his TP? Or in a moment of weakness, prior to going to bed, he's gonna look at the 4% he's up and go, fuck it, and just close his position. I'm going with C. Believe. I like it. Nothing really that exciting yet. Stopped and TP hits. He'll cut early. Ha ha ha. He always cuts early. I will grab a screen clip of it. All right, guys. Good talking to you again. Now it's been a couple weeks. We'll do this more often real soon. Take care.